All the kids in my 5th grade class were passing out Valentine's cards during our party. When I finished, I went back to my desk and found a huge Hallmark style envelope on my desk, too big to fit in the box I had decorated. Confused, I opened it and found a real Valentine's card with a declaration of love from a classmate named Vinny. My teacher saw me reading it, grabbed it and cheekily read it out loud to the class. I was mortified. I didn't think for a moment she would be cruel enough, but then she said who it was from and my heart sank. Vinny hid his head in his arms at his desk, began to cry and shake, then ran off to the bathroom. I have never seen a more embarrassing moment and I hated my teacher for the rest of the year. I still do, in fact. I'm so sorry, Vinny. SFO Airport. A man is running down the escalator and trips at the very end, face planting with so much force that he slides a little. Guy gets up and keeps running, trips and falls on his face again, then gets up and just walks. I work near a college campus. The day Pokemon Go came out, all hell broke loose. Saw a guy who was playing the app walk directly into a pole that was just a bit taller than his junk because he wasn't looking up from his phone. Nuts were smashed. I camped out near that pole every day at lunch to watch people playing Pokemon wander into it. Day 3, here comes the guy from day 1, right into the same pole. Nuts smashed again. My cousin once thought it would be hilarious to show everyone, my parents included, the 2 girls 1 cup video at a family birthday party. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up overnight. As requested, the story is, we were at a birthday party, I can't remember whose it was, but there were about 15 of us, just sitting in the living room joking, and having a few drinks. The reaction videos had just started going viral on YouTube and someone asked what they were about. So my cousin thought it would be better to show than tell, and pulled the video up on his phone. Out of everyone there, only 3 of us knew what the video was, but my cousin and I were the only ones who'd actually seen it, which I of course denied. So the phone gets passed around, and my cousin wasn't entirely wrong. Seeing everyone getting more and more horrified as they watched was pretty funny. The thing that horrified me though was that, while they were disgusted by the video, it became the topic of discussion for the next half hour. Debating whether or not it was real. How common is something like this? What would be worse? I'm just glad my cousin didn't bring up Mr. Hands 2. Edit 2. Now that the story is out there, I'm seeing some comments about how it's not so bad if it started a conversation about the subject. My parents were involved in discussing the subject. The subject of 2 women hitting and vomiting in each other's mouths. While I was sitting 3 feet away from them. My best friend from high school farted during required reading time in English class. It must have been loud, because the popular girls surrounding her looked up in disgust. In a panic, my friend grabbed her seat, and with forced bewilderment said, "Oh my chair is so squeaky." She then proceeds to rock and shift positions frantically, but the chair doesn't make a sound. Clearly defeated, my friend spent the rest of class burning in self-loathing. Every Redditor that has told themselves no one will remember is experiencing intense anxiety right now. My brother was in our course and they were doing presentations on different issues in the workplace. One group ended their presentation by showing a clip they found online on Excel harassment in the workplace. For some reason they never bothered to watch the full video, because halfway through it, it turned into a PPO and the entire class was cringing/trying not to burst out laughing. A guy in the class in HS stood up to go to the washroom, sneezed and hit his pants. A kid hit his pants in grade school art class. It fell down his leg when he stood up, and he said a duck walked into the room and pooped on the floor. A girl in my design class got up to give her presentation. Her computer is hooked to the projector and it's on. She opens her email to find the presentation she sent herself, and as soon as the email is open someone in class says, "Name, why do you have an email titled Turtle X Noises?" Her head whips around to the screen, and she shouts, "Oh my god." And then she jumps in front of the screen as she forgets how projectors work. so turtle X noises is now projected on her boobs, and she stammers to quickly tell us that her boyfriend sent her the link, the video is adorable, and so on. She goes on to do the presentation, but the class won't shut up about the turtles, so she plays the video and hides her face as this turtle makes adorable squeaky sounds as it makes love to a shoe, and the class just loses it. With my old aunt on the bus once. She's a bit deaf, so she tends to speak louder than necessary. She leans over to me and in a hushed but very audible voice that everyone heard, says to me, "OMG, look at that woman's ugly baby. No, look, it's so ugly, oh my god." Nudges at me hard, "Look at it." Yeah, the woman with the baby was sitting right next to us across the aisle within earshot. Cringe. In the Navy you have to run a PRT every 6 months. If you fail any portion you get a PRT failure on your record. If you get 3 in a row you get kicked out of the Navy. I tell you that to tell you this. I knew a guy in my command who was looking at getting kicked out for PRT failure. He absolutely had to pass his PRT or he would lose his job, livelihood and realistically his wife and kids. Part of the PRT is a 1.5 mile run he had to do in under 11 minutes. Everyone runs together and we all start at the same time. So they say go, everyone starts running, clock starts. About 5 minutes in I look over and this guy is speed walking awkward as hell. It was very obvious and very distracting. I'm coming up behind him. I lapped him on the track and he relaxes and hits himself. No joke, fills his Navy issue PT shorts and keeps running. He is running with a full load in his pants swinging behind him and running down his leg, leaving a hit trail on the track behind him. Note this is official, he cannot fail. If he quits it counts as a fail, so he grits his teeth and keeps running. I can't help but laugh as I'm running my PRT. He looks miserable, but he is still running as fast as he can with it just pouring out of his shorts. I was embarrassed just watching this happen, but his very existence on Earth was to be determined by this run, and nothing short or the apocalypse was going to stop him from finishing. He ended up coming in 10 seconds under his time, so he got to stay in, but the fact that half the command had watched this guy hit his pants then run spewing hit behind him for 6 minutes was brutal. People talked for years about that incident. Probably my most watched genre at the moment. Not because it appeals to me, but rather because every single video needs to claim that they're related. Freshman year of college. 5 weeks in I had a group project. My group decided to write a script and read it to the class. All 4 of us are up there reading and semi-acting out this 10-page script, and everyone in class starts kind of giggling. In between lines I make eye contact with this girl I was kinda seeing, and she kept laughing towards me. I thought maybe a budger was hanging from my nose, zipper was undone, but nope. Ended up that the kid next to me had a boner and did the little tuck and waistband trick. The head of his tick was sticking out and he was wearing a small shirt, so anytime he lifted his arms or moved around everyone saw the tip of his tick. Everyone joked about it when he wouldn't show up to class. A guy was trying to sleep with my friend. He didn't have a condom, so he went and got a Ziploc bag. She said no. I walked into a bathroom once while some lady in another stall was in the middle of a major poop explosion. As if that wasn't bad enough, she started praising Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Asterisk SPL80 splat. Thank you, thank you. I was in a Disneyland bathroom stall. The man in the adjacent stall was in the midst of a serious poop struggle. While the ambient hum of the bathroom may have drowned out the plop, it did not silence his exclamation. Jesus Christ, that thing is huge. This was already loud enough to be uncomfortable for everyone. Then, a second voice. Wow, Dad. When I was in elementary school in 2nd grade we had a really cruel and strict teacher. She refused to let the red-haired fat girl go to the bathroom during morning prayer, private school. She peed her pants in front of the entire class first thing in the morning. I don't recall any classmates ever giving her hit about it, but I'm pretty sure no one ever forgot it. When I was kindergarten, my class started singing the alphabet letters. A boy sitting next to me was hitting himself while singing. He became my best friend. We are now 20 years old, and I still remember that day. I was in the 8th grade, walking and talking with a girl who had a crush on me. She was really going all out trying to impress me, swishing her hips, cracking awful jokes, trying to be smart, when we walked by a building entrance with a raised slab in front of the door. She failed to notice it, and, with her hands in her pockets, tripped up and pulled off an amazing faceplant. She was so embarrassed her whole face was red. To my credit, I didn't laugh and helped her up, but inside I was crying with laughter. Please subscribe to Reddit Throne. Please subscribe to Reddit Throne.